What would you do in that situation? Everything we believe to be true about the universe could be wrong. The universe we believe to be random and chaotic is, instead, full of patterns, rhythms, whispers, and orderly signatures. The James Webb Space Telescope, humanity's most powerful space telescope with advanced vision into the vastness of the universe, just sent back data that does more than raise concerns, it causes anxiety. For decades, astronomy has provided a picture of galaxies slowly forming, of planets born through simple cosmic mechanics, of an expanding universe that follows predictable rules. But Webb has shattered that fragile illusion. Its pictures show galaxies that are older than they should be, planets that are too big to be where they are, and signals that pulse with a rhythm no one can explain. NASA, once eager to broadcast every new discovery, has suddenly become secretive and cautious because when the universe as a whole appears to defy the laws of physics, you can't just update the literature. You confront the possibility that reality is far stranger and far more intentional than we ever imagined. The majority of Webb's discoveries are not a single haunting exception, but a pattern that runs throughout the data. Galaxies aligned with suspicious precision, geometries formed by clusters too neat for chaos, and faint signals beating in rhythms no natural process should produce. Astronomers describe it as though the universe itself is leaving behind a hidden signature, a watermark imprinted on space and time waiting for us to notice. Webb, with its unrivaled resolution, has eliminated the background noise and revealed the design, as if lifting a veil we were never meant to see behind. Symmetry was once dismissed by scientists in the cosmos as coincidence, artifacts of perspective, or an outcome of statistical inaccuracy. But Webb has gotten rid of those excuses. The accuracy is ruthless, and the alignment cannot be denied. Once you see the order, you cannot return to a belief in chaos. It's as though the universe has been speaking all along, and only now do we have the ears to hear. The most alarming signal came not through light, but through sound, or rather, rhythm. Webb's instruments detected energy pulses that kept going with an eerie regularity, emanating from spatial regions that appear completely empty. They are not pulsars, not quasars, and not issues with the equipment. They are beats that are precise and planned, like a drum's distant pounding in the void. To astronomers accustomed to the silence of space, this is like hearing a knock when you weren't expecting anyone. Each pulse arrives with such consistency that chance becomes an unworkable explanation, and yet no known astrophysical process fits the pattern. It is as if the cosmos is highlighting its presence, leaving a breadcrumb trail of intention. NASA's official position is cautious and ambiguous, signals pending analysis. However, privately, insiders acknowledge that the discovery has upset even the most experienced scientists. Because if these rhythms are intentional, the answer is not just what we hear, but who. Webb has not revealed isolated curiosities, but a chorus of anomalies dispersed throughout the sky. Galaxies to massive, to mature, appearing only 180 million years after the alleged Big Bang, when there shouldn't have been sufficient time for these structures to exist. Gigantic exoplanets orbiting stars that should never have hosted them, with no disks of dust or debris to explain how they were born. Structures stretching across billions of light-years in grid-like order, like scaffolding across the fabric of space. Each anomaly might have an explanation in isolation, a fluke, a miscalculation, a fringe case, but taken as a whole, they tell a story that cannot be ignored. The more Webb sees, the more the pieces fit together into a picture we were never prepared to confront, that the cosmos is not evolving under chance but following instructions. It's not a mess, but choreography. This revelation is forcing scientists to re-evaluate not just their equations but their philosophy about life itself. At first, NASA celebrated Webb's discoveries as victories, sharing enthralling images with the general public. But as the anomalies piled up, the tone shifted. Briefings grew more controlled, statements more hazy, and data more carefully filtered. Insiders divulged that private meetings became heated, with some officials insisting the information remain classified until fully comprehended. The word panic is not frequently used in science classrooms, but it echoed in private discussions nonetheless. Because what do you do when the universe as a whole appears to be breaking rules? If galaxies existed before they were supposed to, if invisible structures bend space in ways we cannot model, if messages pulse like signals in the gloom, then science as a whole is standing on unstable ground. For NASA, the panic is not just about what Webb has seen, but about what comes next. Because once the universe begins to look intentional, every discovery is not merely data but a question: who or what designed it? Unquestionably, as more data came in, the truth surfaced. Webb was displaying a universe that seemed older than it should be. Whole galaxies, some of them larger than the Milky Way, appeared so early in cosmic history that their existence was impossible under current models. For decades, astrophysicists believed it would require many billions of years for galaxies to reach such size and maturity. Yet Webb was showing them fully developed with billions of stars during a time. The universe ought to have been covered up in darkness. The repercussions were like a thunderclap. If there are these galaxies, the universe either had a beginning we never accounted for, or our understanding of time itself is flawed. Too many. This was the moment theory shattered into a state of shock when equations that had been unchallenged for 100 years started to look like nothing more than uncertain guesses. One of the most frightful aspects of Webb's discoveries was not just their impossibility, despite their class. The symmetry of galaxies, the precision of enormous cosmic filaments, and the uniformity of structures stretched across billions of light years. These features did not look random. They appeared organized. Scientists spoke in a way they rarely did, employing terms in public like intention, design, and blueprint. Were these vast alignments simply the hidden architecture of gravity? Or were they the fingerprints of a higher power and intelligence embedded in the fabric of creation itself? A few theorists suggested that Webb might be more than just observing the universe, but looking straight at a set of instructions written into code, like programming in a universal machine. If that were true, then every anomaly, every inexplicable pattern was not an error. A message was sent, and messages, by nature, are intended to be read. Webb's discoveries split the scientific community. Researchers were divided into camps. Some clung desperately to the old models, inventing exotic particles or unseen forces to patch the cracks in their hypotheses. Others quietly admitted that the data suggested something new, in a terrifying place where the rules of physics would have to be rewritten from the ground up. But beyond the scientific debates, something deeper stirred: fear. Because rewriting physics means more than just revising textbooks. It means recognizing that everything humanity has built, from technology to philosophy, might stand on unstable foundations. The fracture was not only in concept but also in confidence. For the first time in modern history, scientists were no longer sure that the universe could be understood at all. NASA struggled to maintain control of the narrative. There was already a storm brewing outside their walls. Independent astronomers, armed with smaller telescopes and internet access to raw data, started verifying the anomalies. Word spread in forums, research papers, and conferences that something extraordinary was taking place. Public curiosity turned to suspicion. Why did NASA suddenly stop talking about the oddest findings? Why did their press announcements focus on colorful images while ignoring the deeper implications? The pressure mounted, and with it, a sense of urgency. Because if the internet had uncovered proof that the universe was older, stranger, and perhaps intentional, then humanity was standing on the edge of a revelation it could neither fully explain nor control. And because of this, panic did not remain locked behind closed doors. It began to seep into the public, spreading like wildfire as people came to the realization that something in the universe was not working as it should. The James Webb Telescope was supposed to be humanity's crowning achievement, the machine that would finally confirm the Big Bang, chart the formation of the first galaxies, and give us certainty about our place in the cosmos. Instead, it has thrown everything into question. Its depictions of fully formed galaxies at the dawn of time, its detection of impossible planetary systems, and its glimpse of structures into extensive and precise to be the work of chance have not brought clarity. They have caused anxiety. Inside NASA, panic grew not because of the telescope's failure, but because it succeeded too well. The evidence is irrefutable, the data overwhelming, but the solutions remain out of reach. What happens if the universe is not ruled by chance? What if it is governed by rules we don't understand, or worse, written by an intelligence so vastly superior that our physics appears childish in comparison? These questions are no longer philosophical musings. They are scientific necessities forced upon us by the very images Webb has delivered. While officials reassure us with silent and carefully selected words, the truth remains. The universe is no longer acting the way we expected. It is older, stranger, and possibly far more purposeful than we've ever dared to imagine. The panic at NASA is not just about rewriting theories. It's about facing a reality that could rewrite humanity itself. If you want to follow every update, every Webb image, and every revelation as the story unfolds, subscribe to this channel and turn on alerts. The next discovery may not only disturb science, it may alter the course of our species' future.